Good morning. State Department. Joining launch. Really, I know the decision to sit at this table was not easy. We understand the suspicion and skepticism that so many feel, born out of years of conflict and frustrated hopes. The tragic act of terror on Tuesday and the terrorist shooting yesterday are yet additional reminders of the human costs of this conflict. But by being here today, you each have taken an important step toward freeing your peoples from the shackles of a history we cannot change, and moving toward a future of peace and dignity that only you can create. So thank you. Thank you for your courage and your commitment. I also want to recognize the support of Egypt and Jordan, which have long been crucial partners for peace. And we appreciate the support of the Arab League for the vision of a comprehensive peace embodied in these talks. I also wish to thank former Prime Minister Tony Blair, the special representative of the Quartet, for his leadership and efforts. Mr. Blair's work in support of the institutional and economic development of the Palestinian people is critical to the success of these peace efforts. As we've said all along, progress on this track must go hand in hand with progress in negotiations. And let me also, as represented by this overwhelming turnout of representatives of the press from across the world, express our gratitude to many friends and allies who have worked so hard for progress toward our shared goals. To those who criticize this process, who stand on the sidelines and say no, I ask you to join us in this effort. As President Obama said yesterday, we hear often from those voices in the region who insist that this is a top priority and yet do very little to support the work that would actually bring about a Palestinian state. Now is the opportunity to start contributing to progress. For our part, the United States has pledged its full support for these talks, and we will be an active and sustained partner. We believe, Prime Minister and President, that you can succeed. And we understand that this is in the national security interests of the United States that you do so. But we cannot and we will not impose a solution. Only you can make the decisions necessary to reach an agreement and secure a peaceful future for the Israeli and Palestinian people. Now, for many of us in this room, this is not the first trip to the negotiating table. I look around and I see veterans from all three of us. We've been here before, and we know how difficult the road ahead will be. There undoubtedly will be obstacles and setbacks. Those who oppose the cause of peace will try in every way possible to sabotage this process, as we have already seen this week. But those of you here today, especially the veterans who are here today, you have returned because you have seen the cost of continued conflict. You know that your people deserve the benefits of peace. The core issues at the center of these negotiations territory, security, Jerusalem, refugees, settlements, and others will get no easier if we wait, nor will they resolve themselves. Success will take patience, persistence, and leadership. The true test of these negotiations will not be their first day, and it will not be their last day. It will be all those long days in the middle when the path toward peace seems hidden and the enemies of peace work to keep it obscured. But we are convinced that if you move forward in good faith and do not waver in your commitment to succeed on behalf of your people, we can resolve all of the core issues within 1 year. You have taken the first steps. You have both embraced the idea of a two-state solution, which is the only path toward a just, lasting peace that ensures security and dignity for both Israelis and Palestinians. I fervently believe that the two men sitting on either side of me, that you are the leaders who can make this long-cherished dream a reality, and we will do everything possible to help you. This is a time for bold leadership and a time for statesmen who have the courage to make difficult decisions. Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. President, you have the opportunity to end this conflict and the decades of enmity between your peoples once and for all. And I want to conclude by just saying a few words directly to the people of the region. Your leaders may be sitting at the negotiating table, but you are the ones who will ultimately decide the future. You hold the future of your families, your communities, your people, this region in your hands. For the efforts here to succeed, we need your support and your patience. Today, as ever, people have to rally to the cause of peace, and peace needs champions on every street corner and around every kitchen table. I understand very well the disappointments of the past. I share them. But I also know we have it within our power today to move forward into a different kind of future. And we cannot do this without you. So now let me turn to the Prime Minister, who will make his remarks, followed by the President.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. I want to thank you and President Obama for the many efforts that you've invested to bring us to this moment. My friend Senator Mitchell, thank you for your consistent effort, for you and your staff's efforts to bring a lasting and durable peace to our region. President Abbas, as I said yesterday in our meeting at the White House with the President of the United States, the President of Egypt, and the King of Jordan, I see in you a partner for peace. Together we can lead our people to a historic future that can put an end to claims and to conflict. Now, this will not be easy. A true peace, a lasting peace, would be achieved only with mutual and painful concessions from both sides. from the Israeli side, from the Palestinian side, from my side, and from your side. But the people of Israel, and I as their Prime Minister, are prepared to walk this road and to go a long way in a short time, to achieve a genuine peace that will bring our people security, prosperity, and good neighbors. Good neighbors. To shape a different reality between us. That's going to involve serious negotiations because there are many issues in contention. The core issues that you outlined, Madam Secretary, are things that we have disagreements on, but we have to get from disagreement to agreement. A big task. Now, 2 years ago, or rather a year ago, in a speech I gave in Bar Ilan University in Israel, I tried to outline the two pillars of peace that I think will enable us to resolve all the outstanding issues. And these are legitimacy and security. Just as you expect us to be ready to recognize a Palestinian state as the nation state of the Palestinian people, we expect you to be prepared to recognize Israel as the nation state of the Jewish people. There are more than 1 million non-Jews living in Israel, the nation state of the Jewish people, who have full civil rights. There is no contradiction between a nation state that guarantees the national rights of the majority and guaranteeing the civil rights, the full civil equality of the minority. I think this mutual recognition between us is indispensable to clarifying to our two peoples, that the conflict between us is over. I said too yesterday that a real peace must take into account the genuine security needs of Israel that have changed. They've changed since I was last year. You spoke about the veterans who are gathered here around this table. We've been here before. We fashioned the Hebron Agreement and the Y Agreement. This was 12 years ago. In these 12 years, new forces have risen in our region, and we've had the rise of Iran and its proxies and the rise of missile warfare. And so a peace agreement must take into account security arrangement against these real threats that have been directed against my country, threats that have been realized with 12,000 rockets that have been fired on our territory, and terrorist attacks that go unabated. President Abbas, I'm fully aware and I respect your people's desire for sovereignty. I'm convinced that it's possible to reconcile that desire with Israel's need for security. We anticipate difficult days before we achieve the much desired peace. The last 2 days have been difficult. They were exceedingly difficult for my people and for me. Blood has been shed, the blood of innocents. 4 innocent Israelis gunned down brutally. 2 people wounded, 7 new orphans. President Abbas, you condemned this killing. That's important. No less important is to find